Mr. Kamal Nath, good evening. How is it that nobody knew that you had written a letter to the Prime Minister red flagging certain concerns in the telecom sector much before the 2G scam actually came out?
Well, my letter came out much later because when the 2G committee and the CAG went into the files, my letter was in public domain. It was not a secret letter. And the letter came out as a part of the record where I had expressed my concerns about the process of the 2G, and I had requested for a committee or a group of ministers to be set up to go into the process
obviously
of this.
You felt there was a serious problem
this was on
brewing
record.
there.
It was not a secret letter.
No, obviously you felt there was a serious problem brewing somewhere.
Yes. Yes, I did feel that because I learnt certain things. I did not know the facts. There was certain suspicions, there were certain hearsays, and I thought that it's best that to go around that, we must have a committee. And that is what prompted me to write to the Prime Minister.
So Mr. Nath, from where and whom were you hearing and learning about these alarming developments in the year 2007?
Well, I was the Minister of Commerce and Industry, and people from the business community met me, people from different sections of society met me, and they expressed that the manner in which this was being done, it's not what was being done, it was the manner in which it was being done, which people were concerned with. And that is what I wrote to the Prime Minister about. That
what was wrong with the manner in which, what were these people telling you? What were these people telling you? What was wrong with the manner in which things were being done? What was inappropriate, Mr. Nath?
It wasn't, it was not transparent, and it was not something which would bring credit to the government. There would be a controversy, and that is, in fact, a minister doesn't write to the Prime Minister on something which is just routine.
Oh, yes.
It's just because I felt that it was a serious enough matter warranting the Prime Minister's intervention that I wrote to him.
Did you talk to the Prime Minister at any point after or before having written to him? Was there any conversation where you shared your concerns with him?
Well, I don't recall discussing with the Prime Minister, and even if I do recall it, or even if I recall at this point of time, I'm afraid I'm not going to discuss what I talked to the Prime Minister.
Were you disappointed that the Prime Minister did not act on your concerns?
I was disappointed that the Prime Minister did not act, but we must remember one fact, that what we are talking today is in retrospect and in hindsight. At that point of time, the gravity and the magnitude of what was happening was not known. It was not known to me, it was not known to the Prime Minister. And for the Prime Minister to have not acted without knowing the gravity and the magnitude of what was happening, or what was allegedly to have happened, I think it would be very unfair to put this on the Prime Minister, that he knew everything what was happening, he knew the magnitude, he knew the gravity, and he did not act.
But you have said
what we are talking
you have said that had Manmohan Singh acted differently, you have said that had Manmohan Singh acted differently, maybe things would have been different. And yet, Mr. Kamal Nath, in September last year, you say Manmohan Singh is a man of unimpeachable integrity. I'll separate these two comments. First of all, I want to know from you why you feel that had Manmohan Singh acted differently, maybe things would have been different. What do you mean when you say that? Can you elaborate?
Well, if what I had recommended in my letter and a group of ministers or a cabinet committee had been set up, obviously the process would have changed. Obviously, there would have been much more sharper and focused attention on this matter. It would not have been left to one minister alone, and things would have definitely been different. Now, that he chose not to act, that he chose because he did not know all the facts, because he did not know the magnitude of it, is very unfortunate that things rolled out the way they did.
How would he not know the magnitude of it? After the CAG brought the whole report out, there was nothing but a brazen response from the government.
No, this is, this is much after the CAG came into the picture, much later. My letter was much earlier. and the CAG came in again as a retrospective.
No, but in your letter you did. In your letter you did say that the spectrum allocation process is not transparent. You told the Prime Minister about that. You wrote a letter to the Prime Minister saying the spectrum allocation process was not transparent, and yet the Prime Minister chose to disregard your concerns. When A. Raja wrote to him, he used that to overrule your concerns. And you were disappointed with that sequence of events. What did you do after that? You say you were disappointed, but what did you do after that?
Well, I couldn't do anything after that, because the ultimate thing a minister can do is to write to his Prime Minister. The only other thing could have been to go to the press. But
it must have been frustrating for you.
The Prime Minister chose not to do anything about it, and it was a disappointment. It was a disappointment that he did nothing about it. And many years later, we must understand the CAG report came many years later. We didn't know all the facts until the CAG report came in.
You know what the BJP is saying now, Mr. Kamal Nath? The BJP did a sort of an emergency press conference today. And it was addressed by none other than the Information and Broadcasting Minister, Prakash Javadekar. And he said there that, all of this was happening with instructions from 10 Janpath. My question to you, sir, is, do you think 10 Janpath was telling? Do you think 10 Janpath or someone high up in the Congress party was telling the Prime Minister what to do? Which is why he disregarded your letter. Do you think Sonia Gandhi was telling the Prime Minister not to respond to your letter?
No, not at all. The BJP is talking rubbish, and saying all this is also absolutely absurd. 10 Janpath, Mrs. Sonia Gandhi or anybody higher up in the Congress did not know what was happening.
So whatever was happening was the Prime Minister's own decision.
Did not know what was happening.
No, whatever decision was taken at that time.
Even the press, let's be clear. Let us be clear about one thing. Even the press did not know what was happening. Because if the press knew what was happening, they would have brought it out unless they were abetting it.
But the government knew what was happening.
I'm saying that the government, only of a department knew what was happening, not the government in its entirety.
You knew. You were Commerce Minister. You were Commerce Minister. You knew. You were Commerce Minister. You knew. The Finance Minister, Mr. Chidambaram, knew. I presume. The Prime Minister knew.
No, I did not know. I did not know. What I knew was only certain sounds here and there.
You suspected.
I did not know in its entirety.
You suspected something.
Of course I suspected it. That's why I wrote the letter.
So why aren't you answering my question? You accept there was an action?
Even the press did not say anything. They did not even suspect it.
But
the press was silent, almost like abetting
Mr.
it.
Kamal Nath, you see, this is very convenient.
Silent,
no, that's very wrong of you to do that. It's very convenient for you to always blame the press for anything. You were in the government. You knew. You told the Prime Minister. Your Prime Minister did nothing.
I'm not blaming the press.
It's the Prime Minister who, therefore, is responsible for the 2G scam.
No, I'm not blaming the press. Arnab, I'm not blaming the press. I'm saying you say you did not know about it. The Prime Minister did not know about it. I'm only adding to it that even the press did not know about it.
Sir, when the press got to know...
if the press knew and chose not to expose it...
No, when the press knew, it put it out and it became a big scam, and that is part of our recorded history. My question to you, which you seem to be dodging, I wish you did not dodge that question, is this. I don't know why you're dodging a question which has been asked to you. Mr. Kamal Nath, the question to you is straight, therefore. You as Minister told the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister disregarded your advice and went by A. Raja's advice. You agree that what Vinod Rai therefore puts out in the public domain is true. My question to you is, why should we not believe that Manmohan Singh was told by Sonia Gandhi not to act? That the powerful political forces at that point of time were backing what was happening?
You can believe anything.
No, because you know there was a dual power structure. So it was not as if Manmohan Singh was taking all the decisions. Maybe Sonia Gandhi or 10 Janpath was taking the decisions for
You can believe what you want.
No, I'm asking you. That's what the BJP says.
No, you can also say President... Yeah, that's what the BJP said. The BJP could also say that President Bush knew. So you can make any absurd inference out of this.
Well, files were not going up and down from to White House. Sir, files were going up and down to 10 Janpath, as you know.
Yeah, I know, but then the absurdity of bringing in 10 Jatpat is as big as absurdity as bringing in President Bush and the White House.
That's your standard response. You're being protective of your party president.
I'm not being protective. I'm just saying that this is an absurd. How do you answer something which is absurd?
The Prime Minister made a mistake, didn't he, Mr. Kamal Nath? The Prime Minister did make a mistake by not responding to your letter.
He may have made a mistake, yes. Okay, he may have made a mistake. Now, I would go along with you on that he may have made a mistake. Because I brought it to his notice and he did not act on it. It may have been a mistake because he didn't understand the import of it. He didn't understand the gravity.
Are we supposed to believe that one of the most highly educated Prime Ministers of this country, a man who can deal with complex economic issues, did not understand the implications of giving away spectrum in an inappropriate manner?
Well, yes, of course, we can. I mean, it was a process which was followed over several years. It was not something new which had been incorporated. Let's remember that. We must look at what was the situation at that given point of time, not what it is 7 years later.
Why didn't you speak up
and
earlier?
At a given
Why
point
didn't you
of time,
speak up earlier? Now Vinod Rai writes about your letter, you're speaking up. And at that point of time, when every single minister in the Congress government was ridiculing Vinod Rai, his claims, and calling him names, saying he's a BJP man. Why was Kamal Nath quiet then? All this while, why didn't Kamal Nath come out and say, I actually...
There was nothing to talk about.
You smelt a rat. You did smell a rat and you wrote to the Prime Minister.
I wrote a letter. I didn't write a secret letter to the Prime Minister. I wrote a letter which is in public domain. I wrote a letter which is... which the 2G committee went into, the Public Accounts Committee went into, which the CAG has seen. Mr. Vinod Rai never found and never stumbled upon my letter. It was a part of the record. So there was nothing for me to trumpet about it. It was all a part of the government record.
Which corporates tipped you off? Who tipped you off that something fishy was going on?
Well, no,
so
nobody tipped, no particular corporate tipped me off. I don't remember who all told me about it, but people did express concern that there was something not very right about this and that the government must look into this. There was nothing which they gave me specific information that this is what's happening. One, it was the process. One, it was the manner in which it was being done. Then was the whole policy.
Mr. Kamal Nath, Mr. Kamal Nath, final question on this is, here I am listening to you and I think you're the senior most member of parliament of the Congress party. You're not a rookie or a greenhorn. You're also the commerce minister when this incident happened. And you were writing to the Prime Minister.
Arnab, let me correct you. I'm not the senior most member of the Congress. I'm the senior most member of the parliament. Yeah,
you're the senior most member of parliament. Yes, the same point I'm making, that you're a highly experienced politician and you are writing to the Prime Minister and you are commerce minister, and yet this scam unfolds. Right. Now, it just does not add up, Mr. Kamal Nath.
It's very unfortunate. It's very unfortunate. I wish, because we are looking at everything in retrospect today. We are looking at everything in hindsight.
What is unfortunate, Mr. Kamal Nath?
We have so much more
What is unfortunate is that the Prime Minister stood in the floor of Parliament, every public forum, and said, I never knew. Isn't that unfortunate? Whereas from this conversation, it's clearly proven to be the Prime Minister knew. See, there's a difference, sir, between not knowing and not doing something and knowing and not doing something.
No. I do not believe that the Prime Minister knew all the facts.
He knew a large part of the facts, sir.
No, I don't think he even knew the large part of the facts. I didn't know the large facts when I wrote the letter.
The Prime Minister has every single
told on hearsay.
Sir, the Prime Minister had every single investigating agency at his disposal. If you were the Prime Minister, wouldn't you have used all your powers to get to the bottom of it?
No, I don't think so, because it was something routine which was happening, that had happened for many years. And this was not something which was a new policy. This was not something which was a policy which had just been announced, or something which was being done which had never been done before.
Mr. Kamal Nath, you say that, but I feel on the last part, you're not convinced yourself. But the fact that you wrote that letter is a serious matter and adds a new spin to what has happened. I thank you for your candor And I thank you for speaking to me on the News Hour this evening. Thank you, Mr. Kamal Nath.